Live from Charlotte Sports Park in Port Charlotte, Florida, NESN presents Grapefruit League Baseball. Today, the Boston Red Sox travel north to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. Hello and welcome, everyone. Tom Garrett along with Steve Lyons. Another perfect day here in Florida as Grapefruit League rolls on. And today, the Red Sox will start with Blake Swihart behind the plate. A year ago, he comes in to the regular season as the #1 catcher. Now, the #3 guy. Sandy Leon there. Christian Vasquez is back. Swihart, the only one of the three with options remaining, has to battle for anything he can get.
Yeah, he is kind of the guy on the outside looking in right now behind the other two catchers on the depth chart. But think about what he's been through recently. He had a position change last year to left field. He had to learn a new position. That didn't go so well because that's where he got hurt, and then the ankle surgery. So he missed a lot of time last season, but he does have a lot of good things going for him. He's still just 24 years old. He is athletically the best of those three catchers, and he probably has the best bat of any of those catchers. So those are all good assets coming into this season.
Yeah, the fact that they value that bat is why they had him in left field, trying to figure out a way to get him in the lineup.
Now, this is a guy that they still have high hopes for, and he needs playing time. So they're not going to have him on the major league team sitting on the bench. If he has to, he'll go back to AAA so he can play.
But a great spring training could change the opinion and mix things up a little bit. We'll see how he does today, catching Hector Velasquez, who they just purchased from a Mexican League team last week. Red Sox with a couple of the killer bees in the outfield. Andrew Benintendi in left. Jackie Bradley Jr. in center. First pitch from Port Charlotte coming up. Spring training game on NESN is brought to you by Ace Ticket. It's more than a ticket. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. And by Jordan's Furniture, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Great day to be on the beach or at a baseball game. The Grapefruit League season rolling on. We are at Charlotte Sports Park, the spring training home of the Tampa Bay Rays, who of course have the smallest trip north when camp ends. Head up to St. Pete, just a few miles up the road.
Ride a bicycle.
Ride a bicycle on their trip north. Red Sox out 1-1 in Grapefruit League play. So far, the starting lineup is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Brock Holt leading off, playing short. Andrew Benintendi in left. Alan Craig, Jackie Bradley Jr., Sam Travis, Blake Swihart behind the plate. Bryce Brenz, Hernandez, and Dominguez rounding out your starting lineup as they go up against the ace of the staff, Chris Archer, coming in, and he will get in some early work with this team and try to make the most of it, because Archer, who lost an American League leading 19 games last season, will be playing for the U.S. in the World Baseball Classic. And we talk about what that WBC can do to players, it's pitchers you always worry about, so he'll have to get ramped up as quick as possible to try to help Team USA as Chris Archer and the Rays take the field. Take a look at the defense for the Tampa Bay Rays last year, 984 fielding percentage, and you can see Beckham, Robertson, Miller, and Weeks. Archer pitching to Sucre, McCarthy, Field, and Williams, the outfield. Much like the Red Sox are doing with their starting pitchers, the Rays are doing almost with an entire team, letting them all get a later start because of the additional time we will log here due to that World Baseball Classic. Brock Holt leading off for the Red Sox. He'll be playing short today. And we are underway with a ball here at Charlotte Sports Park. You'll see a lot of Holt at short in the weeks ahead because when Xander Bogaerts leaves to play for the Netherlands in the World Baseball Classic, John Farrell saying Brock Holt will get the majority of that time at short.
Well, you would think that that would happen during the regular season. If something were to happen to Bogey, you'd see Brock Holt over there quite a bit, so they want to make sure that he gets time there.
Holt, of course, one of the more versatile players in all of baseball. Last year played only 5 different positions. That's down for him. Had played 7 each of the prior 2.
It's kind of a down season for him. One of his worst in a Red Sox uniform. He was injured. He missed 37 games because of the DL. Hit just .255 last year, and he admitted the lack of playing time, hurt his overall numbers.
Started the year as the opening day starting left fielder, and he starts this game with a base hit to center field. So Brock Holt gets us started with a hit to lead off the game.
Brock Holt, line drive the other way. Just exactly what he loves to do.
Gorgeous day here in Florida as the Sox and Rays get going. The umpire John Bacon behind home plate, Ryan Blakeney, Chad Fairchild, and Paul Emmel around the bases on a picture-perfect spring training day. Short sleeve weather. This place can get very warm as spring rolls on, but a nice little breeze today, keeping it 78 degrees, very low humidity. No clouds in the sky as Andrew Benintendi will step up.
Trying to say it's a nice day?
Yeah, mostly I'm saying it's a nice day. Many ways to say it. As Andrew Benintendi takes ball 1 to begin.
Well, Red Sox fans are starting to get used to the at-bats that Andrew Benintendi will take. One of the prettiest left-handed swings in all of baseball. You can learn a lot from watching this kid play the game.
Comes into the season as the #1 prospect in all of baseball, according to Baseball America. Last year, of course, made his major league debut in early August, wound up getting injured, came back, and in Game 1 of the American League Division Series against the Indians, became the youngest player in Red Sox history to hit a postseason home run. First career postseason plate appearance.
22 years old and 92 days or something like that?
You are correct. To the day. Had never played a game at the AAA level. Jumped right up for the Portland Sea Dogs. After the trade deadline, August 2nd, he got the call.
Injured himself against this same Rays team.
Holt going as he slices that one foul to the left side. Batting second here today, and John Farrell would very much like Benintendi to settle into that #2 hole. This is a right-handed hitting dominant lineup. They'd like to find a way to get a lefty in there early on, and they think Benintendi is suited to that second spot. Move Bogaerts back, Betts back, a little bit more power from those guys perhaps as the season goes.
#2 in the lineup is a great place to hit, especially if you're left-handed. If you get guys on base ahead of you, you have open up that hole on the right-hand side. Plus, you see a lot more fastballs. Benintendi, an excellent fastball hitter.
He takes the inside pitch there, so the count full here with Brock Holt on first base. Nobody out, just underway. Glad you could join us on a Saturday afternoon. A little bit cooler back up in Boston, I'm told. Hope we're warming your hearts with a little baseball. February, the 3-2 pitch from Archer. Strike 3 called, the throw in time. So the strike him out, throw him out, double play. And just like that, 2 outs here in the first.
Chris Archer helping himself out right there with the strikeout and then a good throw down to second to get Holt. Holt not necessarily a speed burner on the bases. Had a decent jump, but just wasn't able to beat it out. I think Archer surprised Benintendi with that pitch. Saw fastball rather than his trademark slider. He throws about 80% sliders, does Archer.
19 losses last year in spite of a respectable earned run average. which was terrific in the second half. He was 4-12 at the All-Star break with a 4.66 earned run average, 5-7 after the break with a 3.25. Almost became the second pitcher in American League history to lead the league in losses and strikeouts. Nolan Ryan did that once. Archer wound up second with 233 strikeouts in spite of that 19-loss season.
Was Ryan with the Mets when he did that?
It was the American League, so now I got to think American it was the League. Angels.
Yeah, Angels.
His last 11 games last season, his ERA was just a nudge over 3. 3.11. Kevin Cash saying once again, this is a very elite pitcher. And this is Alan Craig giving one a drive to center field. Back there is Field, and he'll make the catch to end the inning. So a leadoff single for Holt goes for naught, scoreless after half an inning. Red Sox get a hit, but no runs at the top of the first. Tampa Bay Rays coming up as we take a look at the Tampa Bay starting lineup. Brought to you by your New England Chevy dealer. It'll be Daniel Robertson leading off ahead of Kevin Kiermaier, Wiki Weeks Jr., Brad Miller, Tim Beckham, Jesus Sucre, Justin Williams, Johnny Field, and Joe McCarthy. Your lineup today going up against Hector Velasquez. Velasquez just had his contract purchased from Campeche of the Mexican League. And it'll be interesting to watch Velasquez today, who was the pitcher of the year in the Mexican Pacific League. Pitched Summer League ball, Winter League ball, the Dominican World Series. This guy's in mid-season form here as we roll through spring training.
He should be. And the only thing you really worry about is like kind of burning him out a little bit. When does he get a break?
Well, Daniel Robertson will step in and be the first batter faces. This is a guy coming straight from the Mexican League into a major league spring training games, kind of being thrown into the fire. Swing and a miss there. And count is 1-1. You probably wouldn't see this in a normal spring training, but because of this extra week or so for the World Baseball Classic, Red Sox, again, as we told you yesterday, pushing off their top of the rotation guys until late next week. Good opportunity for Velasquez to come in. And got the chopper here from Robertson for the first out of the inning as Dominguez plays that cleanly. Take a look at the Red Sox defense, Steve.
Well, defensively today, as we mentioned, Benintendi in left, Bradley Jr. in center, and Bryce Brent's in right field. Around the infield, Dominguez, Holt, Hernandez, Sam Travis over at first base. Off to a hot start already in the spring. Velasquez pitching to Swihart behind the dish.
Not an overpowering pitcher, Velasquez. He's got pinpoint control and needs it. 89 to 92, 93 miles an hour on the fastball. He's got a splitter that works as a changeup. First pitch swinging here for Kiermaier. 2 quick outs for Velasquez.
Velasquez, as you watch him out there, is a little bit like a right-handed version of David Price's windup. Not a lot of extra motion, kind of just turns sideways and then lifts his leg and goes. Under the watchful eye, both the manager and pitching coach right there.
And talking to some of the Red Sox people this morning about Velasquez, said, what can the viewer at home expect? They said the viewer at home can expect to watch it for the first time, just like us. We're all going to learn about Velasquez here today.
As you mentioned, one of the things that they're not worried about, but they have to develop with him is a breaking ball. Doesn't really have a consistent breaking ball. He's got that good split finger and a fastball that rarely goes higher than 92. That's what you were talking about. Guys that don't throw much higher than 90 better hit their spots, or it can be a long day.
28-year-old Velasquez with 2 outs here, facing the oldest player in Rays spring training, Ricky Weeks. Takes that one, 34 years old. It is a young Rays team, to say the least. 94 losses last year, last place in the American League East. Kevin Cash in his 3rd year as manager of the Rays. Velasquez deals, just misses inside.
The other thing that might be a little strange for the viewers today, too, when you're watching Ricky Weeks, is that he's playing first base. And that's where they're going to try to play him this year. It's no longer a middle infielder or even an outfielder. They want him to potentially platoon over there at first base with Logan Morrison.
And Nick Franklin could be in that mix over at first base as well. So there are a couple of positions. They're pretty confident what the outfield will look like for the most part. I think it's safe to say that Evan Longoria will be your 3rd baseman.
If he ever recovers from the flu.
Yeah. Other than that, there are some spots available in that remaining infield. Ground ball, diving effort from short, but just out of his reach, and Holt can't get to it, so a base hit with 2 outs for Ricky Weeks.
That ball's just hit too hard. You got a nice effort from Holt out of it, but it scoots past you before you can get there.
So a 2-out hit for Weeks. Brad Miller will step up to the plate. Miller had 30 home runs last season, a career high for Brad Miller. They now project him to be the cleanup hitter as a second baseman this season.
Well, Miller doesn't get cheated up there. It's a little bit like Dustin Pedroia. Pedroia swings the bat and he lets it loose, and this guy does the exact same thing. He is going to air it out every time he swings. Long and flat, they call it.
Well, his emergence, the emergence of Brad Miller now, as a big part of the reason they thought they could trade Logan Forsythe, and that's how the Tampa Bay Rays operate. They have to be able to move some of their assets to rebuild by getting good young prospects who can come in. Big swing and a miss there.
Long and flat.
And that will be the end of the inning. A strikeout for Velasquez, and they work around the hit to Weeks. No score after 1.
The bakery flavors.
Let's take a look at the upcoming events at Foxwoods Resort Casino. Amy Schumer is there on March 3rd, and on June 24th, Steve Miller and Peter Frampton. Steve Lyons has already taken that weekend off.
Gotta go.
Chris Archer back out for a second inning. How about the most strikeouts in baseball over the last 2 seasons? Max Scherzer at the top of the list. Chris Sale now with the Red Sox coming in second. And Chris Archer tied with Madison Bumgarner at 485. That's more than Clayton Kershaw. So there is no question that Archer right now, despite 19 losses and any modern evaluation of pitching today will tell you wins and losses really don't factor into the evaluation of a pitcher. I think they still matter because I think it's important to have a pitcher who wants to go deep into games and give you that chance to win. But the 19 losses last year doesn't take away anything from what Archer has accomplished as a pitcher.
No, not at all. I mean, it was a rough season all the way around. He had his issues. He didn't get a lot of run support from his ball club at times. Now, he may have fallen in love with that slider. He's got to be able to throw his other pitches to be effective to get wins, as you're talking about.
If you're Kevin Cash, you're worried about one stat last year: 30 home runs allowed, which was by far and away the most he's ever given up in a season. Jackie Bradley Jr. looking bunt here and finally drops one down, trying to beat it out. Sucre up and throws him out for the first out of the inning. Let's go down to Garrett Austin. Garrett.
Well, TC, in his first game back from ACL surgery, Sam Travis hits a 3-run homer, making a statement that he is healthy and ready to go. Travis said that he feels good and he only wears his brace during agility drills. And John Farrell said there are no restrictions, so we'll start seeing more of Travis at first base. And guys, Farrell said that he likes his attitude, his confidence, and that he welcomes the higher stage and the challenges that brings.
Thank you, Garrett. As Travis steps up, I think everybody loves Sam Travis's attitude and his determination.
Yeah, I mean, the only blip on his radar was the fact that he got injured last year and, basically missed an entire season.
Comes in as the number 4 prospect in the organization, according to Baseball America. 2015, last year, of course, battled the injuries, but 2 years ago was the minor league offensive player of the year in the system.
Made such a great impression last spring.
And drives this one to right field. Over there is Williams to make the catch for the second out of the inning. 2 up, 2 down against Chris Archer here in the second. Now, Archer, as we said, with 19 losses last season, 5 of them against the Red Sox. He was 0-5 and has now lost 11 straight regular season outings against the Red Sox, which is not the kind of streak any pitcher wants to talk about, especially when you've got to play that team, probably pitch 4 or 5 times against them every year.
Yeah, and don't think that you're not thinking about that as a pitcher. You still have confidence. He is Chris Archer. He's a guy that can go out there and win you a lot of games. But he's thinking about it when he has to face the Red Sox. It's like, man, I haven't beaten these guys forever.
He's 1-11, so he won his first start against them and has lost 11 in a row. He faces Blake Swihart here with 2 outs. Talked about him at the top of the broadcast. Last year, made his first career opening day roster. Wound up playing left field, injuring himself out there after being the youngest opening day catcher for the Red Sox since Rich Gedman back in 1983. Called strike there, so it's 1-2 against Swihart.
Rich Gedman in the house here as one of the coaches on the Red Sox staff.
Well, you talk to Blake Swihart and any of the Red Sox catchers, there's no doubt there are plenty of resources. Jason Varitek around quite often. You just mentioned Rich Gedman is a coach. Dana Levangie, who is the primary point person for the coaching, if you will, as the bullpen coach, is around.
I think Swihart's just happy to be back behind the plate. I don't think he was too happy about being a left fielder. Obviously, that was an experiment to try to get him some more at-bats because he can swing the bat.
2-2 pitch. Archer thought he had it. Home plate umpire John Bacon disagrees, and it's a 3-2 count.
Swihart says he doesn't think about the injury at all. The ankle's 100%. Doesn't worry about it. Concentrating on getting better as a defensive catcher and go out there and hack.
And he works a walk here with 2 down in the second. And into the Red Sox, the second straight inning, have a runner on. And Bryce Brents will come up, 2 down and 1 on. Bryce Brents back in 2012 was the Portland Sea Dogs MVP, but Hasn't played more than 91 games in a season since. He's been battled injuries, plagued by injuries. For the last 4 seasons. First and foremost, Brents goes into this season having to prove his durability, prove that you can stay out on the field and work your way back into the picture.
Did a nice job for this ball club when he got the opportunity to play for the Red Sox. They were well over 500 when he was in the lineup. Hit his first home run of his career against Texas last year.
And Martin Perez, late June at Texas. Fouls off a 1-1 pitch here.
Not a whole lot of beards on the team this year for the Red Sox. Brents has got a good thick one working there.
I think you got to start kind of like a baseline. You know what I mean? You can't come into camp with a long shaggy beard, can you? You got to let that grow out over the season.
He could a couple years ago.
Did he hold up? No, he did not. So Archer gets his second strikeout, and the Red Sox do not score here in the second inning. Inning and a half gone here at Port Charlotte. We are scoreless. This Red Sox spring training game on NESN is brought to you in part by Ace Ticket. Ace Ticket is Boston's trusted source for Red Sox, Bruins, and Celtics tickets. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS to treat someone special to a game now. Scoreless here in the bottom of the second as the Rays face Hector Velasquez. 13-pitch first inning for Velasquez. Just the 2-out single to Ricky Weeks.
It's kind of more like what Archer does. Velasquez following suit.
First pitch swinging here for Tim Beckham as he drives this one to the right field corner. That'll bounce and rattle around there in right field.
And out of right field.
Out of right field, although Beckham was almost at third base by the time he finally held up. Well done by Brents out there to make sure the umpires realized they had left play. So that's a leadoff ground rule double here in the second inning for Tim Beckham.
Beckham's got some making up to do in this organization. They were unhappy with his hustle last year. A couple games in a row where he didn't hustle, and it was actually a player got called out on the field on a play that he should have scored first, and he didn't. Cost them a ball game once. They sent him down to AAA. And then never called him back up again in September when the call up. So they were certainly sending him a message that they didn't like his hustle.
That'll bring up Jesus Sucre, the catching hopeful for the Rays. Had a solo home run yesterday in a loss to the Pirates. Base hit to right field as he drives that one out of the reach of Travis Brents. will come up and get the throw into second base as Beckham will score. And it's a 1-0 lead for the Rays with a couple of hits to start the second inning.
I wasn't sure if they were going to send Beckham to try to score there. He had to hesitate. He was almost leaning back towards second base when that ball was hit because he wasn't sure if maybe Travis could get a glove on it, but he still scored easily. That ball got down into right field.
So a leadoff double for Tim Beckham. Jesus Sucre, who had the home run yesterday with an RBI single here. The Rays have taken a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the second off Hector Velasquez. Gets the called strike as Justin Williams steps up to the plate. Williams, the right fielder, who we're told came to work this morning having not yet faced live pitching this spring. Went out on the backfield, had Tommy Hunter throw him some pitches. Okay, I'm ready to go.
You're in the lineup.
Williams quickly behind Velasquez, 0-2. Swing and a miss there, strike three. So Williams very slow to walk out of the box.
It's kind of looks like a guy who hasn't faced any live pitching.
One of the joys of spring training is watching as we take another look at the strikeout here.
That's a little tardy.
A little behind that. One of the beautiful moments of spring training was watching number 74, Justin Williams, go back to the dugout after striking out while number 74, Johnny Field, stepped up to the plate. They lead the Grapefruit League in 74s here in the early going. There's Johnny Field, the other outfielder, wearing 74.
It's a bad number to duplicate.
Yeah, you'd like to work your way out of that number.
Yeah.
And quickly, he's behind 0-2. No reports yet if Johnny Field has seen any live pitching. But he's seeing some here.
Well, you feel bad for Williams there, not facing anybody, and they throw him into the lineup and gets blown away by a guy who's throwing like 89.
Here's the pitch from Velasquez, and he gets the swing and the miss there. So back-to-back strikeouts for Velasquez.
Velasquez just abusing the 74s in the lineup here with some pretty good pitching. Nice.
And after the back-to-back strikeouts to 74, he'll face number 97, Joe McCarthy.
It's got to be the little split finger that they were talking about. Good late action on that pitch.
They feel good about that being a secondary pitch. He needs to find some sort of third pitch that he can refine. He's got kind of a slurvy breaking ball, they said.
Yeah, talking to some of the scouts, he's got a little cutter too, but it's not a good one. If your cutter's not a good one, don't throw it. You're just taking miles an hour off your fastball, really.
Just a slower fastball.
Yeah, and it's BP speed then.
And in his case, velocity isn't a strength to begin with. So you bring that fastball down to the mid-80s. You want to avoid that. You got to make sure there's movement on it. Back-to-back strikeouts here for Velasquez in the second inning. Misses outside there. Count 2-1. They announced the purchase of Velasquez just last week, the beginning of spring training. It's kind of a different process when you're purchasing the contract of a player pitching in the Mexican League. You got to deal directly with that team, and it all comes down to the negotiation, the money that's going to go to the ownership of that team. It's not just a GM trying to work out a trade with another GM.
The owner wants to get paid.
Doesn't every owner?
Yeah. Well,
3-1 pitch from Velasquez. He'll miss inside. So the 2-out walk to McCarthy puts 2 on for leadoff hitter Daniel Robertson.
Now we're kind of laughing about the jerseys that guys are wearing for the Rays here. Williams number 74, Johnny Field number 74, and then Joe McCarthy number 97, but his name isn't even on his back. They just took a jersey out of the closet and gave it to him. It's not nice.
Talking to some of the Rays people today, they made no bones about the fact that some of the guys you are seeing in this lineup today are just guys. Like, what's he got to do to make? No, there's nothing he can do to make the roster. He's here helping us put 9 guys on the field today.
No name 97.
There's space for rent.
Yeah, I mean, you and I laugh about it. We joke about it. These spring training games are easily the most difficult games to call, to enjoy, especially early on when a lot of the starters are in and out of the lineup. But when you come to a ballpark and you ask the opposing teams, coaches and broadcasters, try to get some information on some of these guys, and they don't know?
We got nothing. Hey, what about this guy? I got nothing. You ever seen him before? No. He's never seen live pitching.
Got to have fun.
Robertson's a legit prospect. Was a first-round draft pick of the Oakland A's back in 2012. And became part of the Rays organization after a deal between the teams. Just 22 years old, and last year they began to move him around for the first time. Primarily a shortstop until last season. Last year, 75 games at short, 20 at third, 21 at second base. So they'd like him to become that Brock Holt type player if he wants to make the roster. He holds up there.
It's another one of those guys that you talked about, the way this Rays team has to start trying to stockpile young talent. They got him in the Ben Zobrist deal.
And he'll battle Nick Franklin and Tim Beckham for that sort of super utility role and perhaps a chance to be a leadoff hitter on this team. They like him. Of the 3, they think he could develop the most power. A few years back at 15 home runs in high A-ball Stockton. Facing a 2-2 pitch from Velasquez. Takes a called third strike to end the inning. So Velasquez strikes out the side around a couple of hits and a run. Sox fans enjoying it here, even though the Sox are down 1-0 after 2.
Bob's Discount.
Furniture is the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox right now. Get up to 60 months with no interest with equal payments. Furnish one room or your entire home. And best of all, you'll get to enjoy it now. Visit Jordans.com for details. Port Charlotte here, about 45 minutes north of Fort Myers. Tampa Bay Rays taking a 1-0 lead against the Red Sox after 2 innings. And the second pitcher of the day in for Tampa Bay. This is Chase Whitley, 27-year-old. Was claimed off waivers from the New York Yankees prior to last season. Began last season still on the 60-day DL after Tommy John surgery, and then has made his debut in September of last season for Tampa Bay, going 2 scoreless innings against his former team, the New York Yankees.
Big kid, Whitley, 6'4", 220. They say he was very upset in the offseason. He has 2 favorite football teams. Alabama, they lost, national title game.
Yes.
Atlanta Falcons.
Oh.
We know what happened to them.
We do.
Wasn't happy about it.
Big righty will face Marco Hernandez to begin the 3rd inning. Archer going 2 innings, giving up 1 hit, no runs. Walked the batter. Hernandez now in his 3rd season in the Red Sox organization. Got him back in July of 2014, or actually got him later to finish the July 2014 trade of Felix Doubront to the Chicago Cubs. And Hernandez has a shot as that extra infielder on this team. Hernandez, Rutledge, Holt's on the team as a utility guy, but there'll be another spot for an infielder there.
Yep.
Here's a fly ball to center field. Field getting under it. 1 down here in the 3rd inning. Ruben Amaro is the Red Sox 3rd base coach today, and that might seem a little unusual. That's because Brian Butterfield is the Red Sox 3rd base coach. He's not here. Kevin Bowles, Pawtucket manager, is your 1st base coach, as it was yesterday as well. The reason why is Brian Butterfield had knee replacement in the offseason. He said he's doing well. We've seen him, and says doing fine, but if he spends hours up on his feet, starts to have a problem with that knee. So they're letting Butterfield work with players back at Fort Myers. There's obviously a great number of players who stay behind on a day like this, so he can get work done with those guys and still give his knee a little bit of a rehab period as he works his way back.
It's spring training for him too.
And for his knee.
The new one.
Yeah, it's a first spring training for his knee.
Well, it's spring training for both of his knees, but
the other one's had a few.
Yeah.
The other one, by the way, was replaced a few years ago.
Yeah.
So
he's had some work.
Kind of going through the entire process right now of replacing everything. But we'll get Butter back in that 3rd base box before too long. Don't you worry about that. Oh, and 2 the count to Dominguez here. 1 out. Matt Dominguez, 3rd baseman today. Ground ball to 3rd base. Diving stab there by Beckham. Nothing he can do with it. He eats it. And Dominguez gets the 2nd hit of the game for the Red Sox.
There's a pretty good example right there. We talk a lot about how infielders don't really reach into their glove to get the ball. They kind of flip the ball to their offhand. Here's the mistake made by Beckham trying to do it too quickly. Doesn't get a handle on it. Really nice play, but then can't make the transfer.
And it goes as an error. Wow, that's a tough home scorer's call. You're the 3rd baseman.
You and I all season long complain about the scoring. We both think that they give away way too many hits.
As with most things, I'd like to point out you complain more than I do, but go ahead.
Yes, but that's a hit. You might not throw him out even if you get up and throw the ball over there. Good chance he's safe.
We'll see if they change that at some point, but for now it stands as an error as Brock Holt up for the 2nd time today. The grounder to 1st base, played there by Weeks, who flips it over to the pitcher Whitley for the 2nd out. Dominguez advances on the play.
Pretty good play there by Weeks. As we told you before, it's a new position for him. He's just getting used to it. Having to come way off the bag to grab that ball and then turn around and throw it. The throw was the easiest part for him. He's been a middle infielder before. He almost becomes a 2nd baseman by the time he turns around and throws the ball back to the pitcher.
That'll bring up Benintendi. He struck out in the 1st inning. That was a strike him out, throw him out double play as Holt had led off the inning with a base hit. Benintendi, left fielder today, and left fielder to begin the season, barring any changes and anything happening. Still just 22 years old. First round pick of the Sox back in 2015.
Way back.
Fouls off the 0-1 pitch. So
I think one of the more interesting things, and we've mentioned this a few times, and I think Red Sox fans will be happy to know that Benintendi keeps his rookie status for this season. Got a chance at being Rookie of the Year. That's not something you ever want to just tag a guy with and have him have to live the season saying, hey, you're the odds-on favorite. But this is a darn good player. It'd be nice to see him have that opportunity to win it if he has a good year. Nobody home.
Nobody home as Dominguez came way off the bag and has plenty of time to saunter back. Although he does not seem like the type of player who, talking about Benintendi, who will be overwhelmed by any pressure or any talk. Just take another look at the long throw. Just airing it out. Just practicing.
Yeah, spring training.
Yeah.
We mentioned that a few times.
Have we?
Someone didn't get the sign there. I'm throwing down. Someone be there. Good thing they're in that shift.
Benintendi fouls it down the first base line. Benintendi last week stepped in and faced Brian Johnson as Johnson threw live batting practice for the first time. He told Johnson, I'm going to take you deep in my first at bat. And he did it on the first pitch he saw. Smoked a home run. And Johnson just kind of stood there with his arms up. Really? He is something special. Got a glimpse of that last year.
Very even keel personality. He's not overly talkative. I still think there's a good sense of humor. I think he likes being part of the team. Good teammate.
Good dancer, as we saw. Busted out the Michael Jackson moves. Absolutely. Pop up here as trouble with the sun, but he's under it, and he makes the catch to end the inning. So the Red Sox strand a runner in scoring position as you grab a sandwich, pull up and watch a little baseball here on a Sunday afternoon.
Sir, there's been a breach.
Those doors, behind the scenes, behind the bench. Get an all-access look at the Bruins only on Behind the B. Catch an all-new episode tomorrow night at 8, only on NESN. New pitcher for the Red Sox as the Rays come up to bat in the bottom of the third. 28-year-old Marcus Walden. He's a minor league free agent back in December. 2 years ago was pitching independent league ball, but was very impressive in the Atlantic League, pitching for Lancaster, where he went 2-4 with a 2.95 in 48 appearances. Signed a deal, and last year was in the Minnesota organization. This year signed as a free agent for the Sox.
Did get it to the big leagues at one point in time with the Toronto Blue Jays. Spent most of his minor league career with the Jays before ending up in Lancaster there a few seasons ago.
Yeah, he
got called to the big leagues, but never pitched.
Never pitched. That's 2014. Optioned back to Buffalo after a 4-day stint with a big club. Got a taste of it. And he fields this from Kiermaier and flips it over for the first out of the inning. Let's go back down to Garen Austin. Garen.
Thanks, TC. Well, a little bit more on Andrew Benintendi. He said one of his biggest goals in this offseason was gaining more weight. He said he changed up his whole workout program, and he actually lived and trained in St. Louis. He said he did put on about 20 pounds, and he said one of the biggest differences is that he eats all the time. He said he only used to eat when he was hungry. Now he tries to stuff as much as he can in. And guys, he said he usually loses weight during the season, so he actually wanted to put on extra weight. As for spring training, he said it's been great. He said it is so much more fun playing in these stadiums with all the fans than it was on the backfield. But guys, he said his whole ride, it's been fast, but it's been really good.
Here's a leadoff swing from Ricky Weeks. Long and gone. A home run for Weeks to give the Rays a 2-0 lead.
Ricky Weeks answering some questions, wondering at 34 years old, can he still hit a fastball? He got all of that one. It's a line shot. I almost gave Benintendi a chance to make a big diving over the fence catch in left field like he did against the Rays during the regular season last year.
Up the road at Tropicana Field.
Not quite the same.
No, gaining weight was not one of my off-season goals. It just worked out that way.
Yeah,
sometimes it just happens
to me every year. You know, to be 22 years old again, where you can say, yeah, I'm just going to eat all the time so I can gain weight. That will change after a few more years.
Even when I'm not hungry, I'm just going to force myself to eat a little more.
I do a lot of that myself.
Yeah. Training. That's years of training.
Man. Does look a little more solid. Man, when he came to the big leagues last year, we were like, stiff wind might blow this kid away.
Swing and a miss there. And if you were a big fan of the Andrew Benintendi flow last year, obviously he came back in with the short hair, but he told me the plan right now, at least, is to continue growing it out as the season goes along.
Sure, let it go.
See where that goes. He and Brock Holt had developed quite a friendship at the beginning of camp a couple of weeks ago. The Flow Bros, as they were calling themselves. Little flare here. Third baseman Dominguez up and across for the second out of the inning.
Benintendi told me that he and Brock are both going to let it go for a while and see where it ends up again. Brock Holt starting with a little bit more of a shorter haircut in spring training, but as the season goes on, neither one of them will probably get it cut. Remember Benintendi last year shaved most of it all off towards the end of that season.
That was a tragedy in certain circles back in New England. September.
There's Brock's flow right there. It's pretty short, but he'll let it go.
Brock became a father in the offseason. Very exciting time. He's bragging the other day about the personal record his son had set by sleeping 7 consecutive hours. Griffin, his son. Always love that when talk to the players in the clubhouse when they're father for the first time, start bragging about their kid's exploits. My kid sleeps longer than your kid can. I believe he called him a beast for his sleeping efforts.
After a while, you just start complaining about everything they do.
That comes when they're older.
Griffin.
2-1 counts with Beckham here.
Brock's middle name is Wyatt.
Brock Wyatt Holt.
There you go. It's a cowboy, isn't it?
It's a ball player in Boston. Beckham takes the outside pitch. 3-1 the count. Beckham had a double to lead off the second inning. Scored the first run of the game on a base hit from Sucre. Weeks adding the home run here in the third. A 2-0 lead for the Tampa Bay Rays. That'll be ball 4 as Beckham reaches for the second time today. The Rays will be at Fenway Park 7 times in the first 40 games of 2017. The Red Sox won't go to Tropicana Field until the final weekend before the All-Star break. So a strange schedule. They'll see each other a lot in the first half. But the Rays, who struggled last year against the Sox, not crazy about that schedule.
Yeah, after last year's schedule with the Red Sox, especially the second half, I don't want to hear anybody complaining about what they have to do. And the Red Sox absolutely turned it up a notch, played some of their best baseball when the schedule was at its most difficult.
Sox won 12 out of 19 games against Tampa Bay last season.
Went on that magical 11-game win streak to clinch the division. And then shortly thereafter, really played the worst baseball they played all season long, losing 8 of their last 9 games, including a sweep in the playoffs.
Jesus Sucre takes the ball outside. 2-0 the count with 2 down. Beckham on first base. Tampa Bay leading 2-0 here in the bottom of the third. Three and 0 now. Walden's having a little trouble with Sucre here. A 4-pitch walk and back-to-back walks with 2 outs.
That's the last thing you want to do when you get your opportunity to impress a little bit. Have somebody on the big league team watching you. You got to go out there and throw strikes.
And that'll bring up Justin Williams, who struck out back in the second inning. Outside, ball 1. Inside, so that's now 7 straight balls from Walden.
Not getting any help behind the plate right there either. That was a awfully close pitch. That'll happen to you, though. If you're not proving to the umpire that you can throw strikes, you're not really going to get the close calls.
Walden steps off. Originally drafted by the Blue Jays back in 2007 in the 9th round. Claimed off waivers by the A's, then the Reds, Twins, now Red Sox organization. Gets the called strike. All wrapped around that 2015 season when he pitched for Lancaster in the Atlantic League, independent, unaffiliated ball. Made 3 starts but 45 relief appearances. As he really settled into the role of reliever, posted that low ERA, 2.95. But he misses here, and after walking back-to-back batters, he has fallen behind Williams, 3-1. Swing and a miss from Williams, so 3-2 the count.
Williams doesn't do anything in high speed, does he? A long walk around the plate.
Not abiding by the spirit of the speed up
rules.
Pace of play rules.
Oh. Took him an hour to get back there.
Here's the pitch from Walden. Runners going, and he got him. Called third strike. Williams doesn't like it, but the Red Sox will head to the dugout. A run on the home run from Wiggy Weeks. And the Red Sox trail 2-0. Fans on the left field side loving it here in Port Charlotte.
Tim just
Red Sox spring training baseball is always live with the MLB.com at-bat mobile app. Stay connected all spring with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat today. It's your #1 app for live baseball. 2-0 Rays leading here as the Red Sox come to bat in the 4th inning. Just one hit for the Sox. Chase Whitley back out for a 2nd inning. Allowed one base runner, a questionable error call that allowed Dominguez to reach. Thought it was a base hit. Alan Craig take the called strike. New first baseman for the Rays, Luke Maley, replacing Ricky Weeks.
Nice
hit his home run, and he hits to the house.
Yep, get out of here. 2 hits, take a hike. Spring training. Had a nice conversation with Chili Davis today about Alan Craig, and he really likes what he's seeing at him. He feels like his swing is more explosive, back to the way he used to be. He just said so many things snowballed on him when he got to the Red Sox. Really feels like that foot injury really affected him way more than he wanted to let people know about. And then he says that Craig's kind of a thinker, one of those guys that just, beats himself up a little bit about too many things. So when things started going south on him, it just got in his head a little bit. My most favorite saying in all of baseball: no brain, no headache. If you don't think about stuff, you're going to be so much better off.
And then he battled injuries all last year, played only 22 games with Pawtucket, 7 with Lowell on injury rehab, takes the strike call there. I mean, a few years back,
he was
there was no one you would rather have up to the plate with men on and a chance to do something. Led all of Major League Baseball in batting average with runners in scoring position in both 2012 and 2013. And he drives this one down the left field line, foul.
I just was talking to Chili about the differences that he's seeing, and he just said, I think it's just a much more explosive swing now than what we've seen over the last year and a half or so. And as you mentioned, all the injuries that he battled last year, and that foot injury, which was a big deal for him. And he wanted to try to play through it.
Part of the deal that included Joe Kelly coming over from St. Louis in exchange for John Lackey, Corey Luttrell, the minor leaguer, and cash considerations at the trade deadline in 2014. Just 9 months after Craig and Kelly played against the Red Sox in the World Series for the Cardinals. But that foot injury in 2014 with the St. Louis Cardinals is where the trouble began. Has not been the same since. A swing and a miss there in the first out of the inning. But as you said, there's a lot of buzz about how he looks here in camp. Starting to look like the old Alan Craig again. So one down after the Alan Craig strikeout of Jackie Bradley Jr. Starting left fielder for the American League in the All-Star game last season. Twice been a Gold Glove finalist. Should have at least one.
That's amazing when you think about the way that went down last season. Mookie Betts wins a Gold Glove and certainly deserved one, but it's almost unfathomable to think that Betts could win one and Bradley wouldn't.
Bradley out ahead of that. And it's 1-1. Power numbers starting to pop off the screen at you last season. 26 homers, 87 RBI. The homer and RBI total more than his major league career up to that point.
Career highs, you might say.
You might. The 29-game hitting streak last season. Wound up tied for the 4th longest hitting streak in Red Sox history. And unlike a lot of guys, didn't get upset if you asked him about it, didn't try to hide it. Yeah, I got a hitting streak going. Hope to get another hit tomorrow night. You guys
nice.
want nothing to do with even the word streak. Swing and a miss there, so back-to-back strikeouts for Whitley to start the 4th inning.
Number 59, Sam Travis.
Kind of tied him up a little bit on that one.
So 2 up and 2 down as Sam Travis comes back for his second at-bat of the game. Flied out to right field in the 2nd inning. Travis, told you that 2015 minor league offensive player of the year for the Red Sox. Hit a combined .307. Portland and Pawtucket is out ahead of this one. Fouls it down the left field line. Old school, no batting gloves. A couple calluses, grab that bat, take a hack. Tries to hold up there.
Grab some dirt, rub it in, spit on it, go get them.
Second round pick of the Red Sox back in 2014 and would have crept onto the horizon and on the radar of the big league roster next year, if not last year, if not for the injury. A terrific camp. There's a lot of talk about him breaking camp, how impressive he was. And he didn't let up. Going down to the minors at .272 with Pawtucket. 10 doubles, 6 homers, 29 RBI. And the knee injury that ended his season end of May. Swing and a miss, so Whitley strikes out the side here in the 4th inning. A 2-0 lead for the Rays as they come to bat at the bottom of the 4th.
Boston Winter, presented by
Check that out right after the game here on Nesson. Just off the glove of the leaping Walden, and then he stays with it and makes the play. Nice job by the pitcher, Walden, helping himself out here for the first out of the inning.
You get a comebacker like that, it's kind of scary. You're not sure how hard it's hit originally. Be able to get your glove on it and stick with it to make the play. Get that first quick out.
So he's navigated through the 74s, and that'll bring up Joe McCarthy here in the 4th inning. One down, nobody on. McCarthy drew a walk back in the 2nd inning. Looking for his first hit of the spring. And quickly, Walden falls behind 2-0. Swing and a miss there.
I think Walden's happy to get the opportunity to go 2 innings in this ball game after kind of losing control and command of the strike zone in that 1st inning after getting a couple outs after the home run. Now a chance maybe to reestablish what he does out there. But falling behind again, 3-1.
Two 2-0 Rays lead. RBI single from Jesus Sucre in the 2nd inning. Then the 1-out solo home run for Ricky Weeks in the 3rd. Walden gets the called strike there, so it's 3-2 to McCarthy here. Misses inside. McCarthy walks for the 2nd time.
We saw that pretty impressive shot of the osprey nest up here on the right field light tower, which is pretty cool. There's the birds in the nest up there on the light tower here in right field. A couple of them up there just checking out the game. That is awesome.
Some kind of fire hazard? Nest just kind of growing around the lights?
I don't really know that I'd want to be standing under it, and there are people standing under it.
Way under it. It's a pretty tall light power out there.
Yeah, I know, but
way up there.
Just the force of gravity will, you know, you can end up with osprey
spray
doo-doo on your shoulder.
Osprey spray.
Yes. And there's everybody. I don't know. I'd scatter a little bit, I think.
Strike call there. By the way, I want to apologize to everybody yesterday. I made an egregious error talking about the heralded Minnesota-Boston spring training challenge, the Chairman's Cup, which I inadvertently called the Governor's Cup, even though it was formerly the Mayor's Cup. Apparently, when the Fenway South Complex JetBlue Park was built, it is just outside the town line of Fort Myers in Lee County, so it's named after the chairman of Lee County.
Oh.
But not by name, just by title, Chairman's Cup. So I'd like to apologize to the governor, the mayor, the chairman, anybody else they may have offended.
Sounds to me like your Twitter account blew up.
They miss nothing. To thank everybody following. Although somebody had a great idea on Twitter. David Ortiz came up with Minnesota. Originally Seattle, but
the Ortiz
Minnesota.
Cup?
Why not make the Big Papi Cup or the David Ortiz Cup? That might be a waste of the naming rights to David Ortiz. I'm not sure it should go to the spring training.
And I'm not so sure Minnesota would think that was such a great idea because they let him go.
They could give the cup away every year because they gave him away. Could be a little moment. But yes, the Chairman's Cup and a big win yesterday. So a come from behind 8-7 win, a 1-0 lead in the 6-game best of 6.
I thought it was
Chairman's
a little
Cup
strange because I thought for sure they'd know that the Governor's Cup was the
international
what you win in the International League.
But there are 50 different governors, so yeah, you could have 50 different Governor's Cups. Robertson fouls it back, staying alive here. Leadoff hitter 0 for 2, grounded out in the first inning and took a called third strike in the second inning. It's Hector Velasquez pitching with the Red Sox uniform on for the first time. Went 2 innings, gave up the 1 run, 3 hits. He struck out 4. 32 pitches over 2 innings. Now Walden in his second inning gets the called third strike to get Robertson second out of the inning.
Walden has been moving the ball around a little bit, in and out. He's throwing a decent little sinking fastball. And a nice breaking ball. He just hasn't thrown it over the plate. It just hasn't been pinpoint perfect. But again, you know, these early outings, I mean, you go up there as a hitter, you're going to strike out a bunch early on because you just don't have your timing. The pitchers haven't quite figured out their mechanics yet this early in spring either.
That'll bring up Kevin Kiermaier for the 3rd time today. He's 0 for 2. Grounded out to second, grounded out to first.
Kiermaier has quickly become a Florida endorsement king. Nationwide notability now as a pretty outstanding baseball player. He's certainly a good-looking kid. People are waking up and taking notice. Doing a lot of endorsements in the Tampa Bay area now. Heard a story where he was getting onto a plane flying to Utah, and 2 fans sitting in first class begged him and his girlfriend to switch seats with him. They gave them the first class seats and they went and sat in the back. And of course Kiermaier said, there's no way I wanted to do that, but they literally insisted. They said we would be honored if you would switch seats with us. I guess you're a star when stuff like that starts happening to you.
Well, he is the reason why Jackie Bradley Jr. has not won the Gold Glove. He's won 2 in a row out in center field. An outstanding defensive outfielder.
They are a little worried about the way he plays with reckless abandon, and they went out and signed Colby Rasmus to be a 4th outfielder on this ball club because of the hard turf that they play on and the way he plays. They want to give him a little bit more time off this season so he doesn't just run himself into the ground.
He takes the ball there to draw the walk here with 2 outs in the 4th inning. The Rays have a little something going. It's 2 walks, so 2 on now off Walden. As Luke Maile will get his first at-bat of the game, coming in as a defensive replacement for Ricky Weeks. Carl Willis, Red Sox pitching coach, out to have a word with Walden.
That's the 4th walk in his 2 innings here so far, so got to go out there and try to get him to throw the ball over the plate.
Grapefruit League action rolling on here, and the Red Sox will be on NESN plenty over the course of the spring. We'll be back with you next Saturday up at Bradenton against Pittsburgh, and back Sunday against the Braves in Fort Myers. Annual foundation game Friday the 10th. That's at Fort Myers against Baltimore. Games on the 11th, 12th, 16th, 18th, 15 spring training games in all here on NESN. Get you ready for the 2017 season. Rick Porcello expected to make his first start later in the week. Friday at Atlanta. David Price, Chris Sale going after that. Essentially what John Farrell did was looked at the number of starts each guy wants to get. They want each to have 6 starts before the season, back time it to opening day when they would go in the regular season. Wait until then. No need to give them a 7th start.
And if those guys do all make their starts on schedule and you do back time it, who does he hand the ball to on opening day?
We don't know yet.
Porcello, I think,
Porcello,
is
if
the way
it times out,
yeah.
because he's going first, but I would have to map that out and see if that's right.
Yeah, it does fall that way.
You already did the work. Well done. Well, winter weekend at Foxwoods, I asked both men, Chris Hale and David Price, who should be the opening day starter. Both men say Rick Porcello. He won the Cy Young Award.
Yep.
Give him the honor. The only reason they might not have is because he's the righty. Did you want to split up the lefties? Anyway, you saw McCarthy advance to third as Swihart lost that one down in the dirt. Kept it near him, though, so no advance for Kiermaier. One pitch to Maley. Gets the outside corner.
I think it's a really delicate situation, and the reason why spring training is so long in general is so that the pitchers can build their arm strength. The hitters want to be out of here easily 10 days before spring training is actually over with. They're done and ready to go. But then you still see earlier in the year.
Ground ball. Well, they got a piece of it. Now Holt over to first base, not in time. And that'll bring it a run. So a slow developing play. By the time Holt got the ball over, Maley had beat out the throw. Infield single will bring it a run, and it's a 3-0 lead for Tampa Bay.
Now that's a play that just looks bad, but Brock Holt had no real chance of throwing anybody out. By the time he got all the way up the middle, this ball gets knocked down. It's slow. He's not going to be able to throw you out at that point.
And that will be the end of the day for Marcus Walden. So the walks hurt him. Walking 4 batters in an inning and 2/3 of work here in Port Charlotte, where the Red Sox trail 3-0 in the 4th. Enjoy the Fenway experience with your group in 2017. Red Sox group outings are the perfect way to entertain your clients, employees, students, and teams while taking in an unforgettable event. Visit redsox.com/groups for more information. Ben Taylor is the new pitcher for the Red Sox, the 24-year-old coming into the game. 2 runners on and 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Coming into the season ranked the 21st best prospect in the Red Sox organization. A 2.49 ERA in his career as a reliever. Opponent's batting average of just 198. He's made that conversion over the last 2 years. By the time he got to the Sea Dogs last season in Portland, pitching exclusively out of the bullpen.
Got his opportunity to close some games as well. He's had that experience in the minor leagues. Big kid, 6'3", 240.
15 of his 21 outings with the Sea Dogs were scoreless. Outside here, and Brad Miller at the plate with a 2-1 count.
Product of the University of South Alabama.
Miller fouls it back up into the netting.
Yeah, we're talking about the pitchers and how many starts they get. They're going to get 6 starts down here, but it's a delicate situation for any manager because, as I always say, and you've seen it too, when the season starts, there are very few pitchers that are going to go out and throw a complete game on opening day because most of them still aren't ready to do that.
Gets the strike 3, and Miller strikes out. Taylor comes in to end the inning. Another run for the Rays. They've scored 1 in each of the last 3 and have a 3-0 lead after 4.
Sir, there's been a
The Bruins are back on home ice for the first time since February 11th. Don't miss the Bees' run for a playoff berth Tuesday night as they host the Arizona Coyotes. Our 1-hour pregame coverage starts at 6. The puck drops at 7 right here on NESN. Got a new pitcher in for the Tampa Bay Rays as coming into the game here to start this inning. Is Kevin Gaday. The 22-year-old was a Rule 5 pick from Seattle. We talked about the Rule 5 draft yesterday. So if he makes the team, he will make it on the Major League roster, because when you pay the $100,000 and grab a guy in the Rule 5 draft, if you want to keep him, you cannot send him down to the minors. He goes back to the team and you forfeit the money.
Well, we've seen some big kids in this game so far. This guy's another monster, 6'5", 240. It's a lot of body throwing at you.
Blake Swihart leading off the 4th. He gives this one a ride to center field for a base hit. So Swihart on for the 2nd time today. He walked in the 2nd base hit off Gaday to lead off the 5th inning.
Swihart showing off some of the reasons why they like him so much offensively. Obviously, this kid can swing the bat. We talked about it in the open of the show. Right now, he's projected as the #3 catcher on this ball club. Would not make the team But that bat can change some minds.
So Gadea comes in and gives up the leadoff base hit. Sox have had a runner on in 3 of the 4 innings. Had a leadoff hit in the first inning. Brock Holt started with a base hit, but was erased on the strike him out, throw him out double play. Bryce Brenz now to get something going for the Red Sox here in the 5th. Down 3-0. Little bloop here to center field. Fly ball will be caught there by Field with Williams ducking under him. So 1 out here in the 5th. A couple defensive changes for the Rays here in the 5th inning. The shortstop now, 73, Jake Cronenworth. And over at second base, it's number 29, Ryan Brett. One on, 1 out here in the 5th. Last year, Gadea was with 2 teams moving from rookie to full season A-ball. So if he sticks with his Tampa Bay Rays team, he will jump from single A to the major league roster. But he's an interesting guy that there's been a lot of talk about. 95 strikeouts in 68 and 2/3 innings last year at single A. Gadea misses there, so it's a 2-0 count.
Gadea's from Nicaragua. The Rays already have Ramirez, who's another Nicaraguan-born player. So it'd make them the only team in the big leagues to have 2 Nicaraguan-born players, and that hasn't been done since the Baltimore Orioles way back, 1977, when they had Dennis Martinez and Tony Chavez.
It's a 3-0 pitch. Inside, ball 4. So, for the first time today, the Red Sox have 2 on after Marco Hernandez draws the walk. Matt Dominguez, third baseman, has made a couple of nice defensive plays today. With a chance to do something here in the 5th.
Oh, one of the reasons why the Red Sox like Dominguez, obviously, he had a little bit of lack of depth in that third base position after trading away Travis Shaw, and obviously still unsure of what Pablo Sandoval is going to bring to the table here with the Red Sox.
Dominguez has been a terrific defensive player all the way through. Won the minor league Gold Glove Award as the top third baseman in any of the 10 full season domestic minor leagues. So a lot of competition for that.
Hit the ball last year too, had 18 home runs in Buffalo AAA. Drove in 67.
Was a first round pick of the Florida Marlins back in 2007. He's appeared in 362 major league games over the years with Florida, Houston, Toronto. In a couple of seasons was the primary third baseman for the Astros. Five games up with Toronto last season, his first big league time since being the everyday third baseman for Houston. But here he takes a called third strike on the outside corner as Gadea gets the second out of the inning.
You can understand why this guy strikes out so many. He throws so easy. Big live right arm, ball kind of explodes on you.
What Dennis Eckersley would call easy cheese.
Easy cheese. Some hair on it.
Brock Holt, 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Looks at a called strike.
That's nothing new for Brock Holt. Easily the most patient hitter on this Red Sox club.
Gadea just missing there. As you pointed out, batting average down for Holt last season, but he hit 7 home runs. It's a new career high. Had hit only 6 total in his first 4 major league seasons. Hopes this one back up here, foul. Shaded area of the seats.
Holt's done a lot of things when you think about guy. He's a utility player. He's certainly more than a utility player. He's a guy who can bounce around and play a lot of positions, but plays a lot. He's done a lot in his brief career at the major leagues too. He's hit for the cycle. He's been an all-star.
Yeah, just 21st Red Sox player ever hit for the cycle. That was back in June 2015 against the Braves. Swing at a 1-2 pitch. High foul ball down the third baseline, out of play. At this point last year, Holt was getting ready for another utility season. And then, once they determined that Castillo was not going to be part of the everyday outfield, late in spring training, remember, Holt was told, you can be the primary left fielder here. Shifted fully. A guy's been primarily an infielder, even though the versatility has moved him all over. Happy to get an everyday spot. And he moved into that starting lineup as the left fielder.
Played very well out there too. Made some nice plays. Was solid.
As the season rolled on, Travis Shaw beating out Pablo Sandoval for the third base spot, and then Shaw struggled over the second half, and Holt gets hit. Here to load the bases with 2 outs. That'll bring up Andrew Benintendi with the bases loaded and 2 down. Sox trailing 3-0 in the top of the 5th inning. Benintendi 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Struck out in the first, popped out to third base in the third. Takes ball 1 from Gadea here in the 5th. Last year had a .984 OPS against right-handed pitching. Right-handed Gadea delivers. Ball 2.
When you watch Andrew hit, you just like how quiet he is at the plate. Very deliberate, short stride, not a lot of extra movement.
The 2-0. Fouls right back.
I'm going to have a little conversation with Andrew about that weight gain. 20 pounds. It's quite a bit. Andrew's only 5'9". It's a lot of extra weight to carry around. Be interesting to see whether or not he thinks that it'll affect his speed at all.
Two-one pitch from Gadea. Fly ball here, center field. Sees it drift over to left field where McCarthy comes in to make the catch, and the Red Sox leave the bases loaded. Down 3-0. Little afternoon baseball here in Port Charlotte. Lots of Red Sox fans, families coming together to watch some baseball here early in Grapefruit League play.
I'm always seeing mattress.
The Red Sox Foundation uses the power of baseball's most loyal fans to build a stronger community and improve the lives of New Englanders. On Friday, March 10th, watch the Red Sox take on the Orioles here on NESN and hear some amazing stories as we showcase the incredible work of the Red Sox Foundation. For more information on how you can make a difference, visit redsox.com/game night to make a pledge today. Red Sox Foundation Game Night on NESN, brought to you by Biogen Foundation, igniting a passion for science. Bottom of the fifth, one change for the Red Sox here. Devin Marrero takes over for Brock Holt at shortstop. Ben Taylor stays out there after striking out Brad Miller to end the fourth inning with 2 on. Facing Tim Beckham here to lead off the fifth. Beckham sends one to left field. Benintendi started back, now comes in and he makes the catch. One down here in the fifth.
As an outfielder, sometimes you get fooled by the swing. See a big swing, you don't notice right away that the hitter got jammed on that ball. So Benintendi thought the ball might have been hit a little harder, took a step back, and then recovered and made the play.
Jesus Sucre, the catcher, stepping up now. Sucre, 2 plate appearances, an RBI single and a walk. First pitch swinging there. Interesting catching situation for the Rays. Sucre trying to battle for a spot on the team. Kirk Casale will probably be your primary catcher to begin the season, but they signed Wilson Ramos in the offseason, the free agent addition. He won't be ready till May, though, coming back from an injury. And Ramos, an excellent handler of a pitching staff, and this is a terrific pitching staff. If there's one thing the Rays have every year, it's a pitching staff that can keep them in competition.
Yeah, and that's, you know, no one just comes in and walks over the Rays because they can always stay in games. They've had trouble at times scoring runs, but they will pitch competitively with you, and we all know you have a good pitching staff. You have excellent chances to win ball games.
And they always manage to trade someone away and keep it going. We've seen them trade away David Price, Wade Davis, and now Drew Smiley this past offseason. They've got Archer and Odorizzi, Blake Snell, Alex Cobb, fully healed from Tommy John surgery, Matt Andrees, Jose
Alex Cobb ever fully healed from any injury, though?
Until the next one. He's in between injuries right now. But that's a pitching staff that most teams would love to have. Kevin Cash, His third year as manager.
I believe Nathan Eovaldi's recovering from a Tommy John as well, but they also re-signed him, the hard thrower who was with the Dodgers, then Tampa Bay, then the Yankees, now back in Tampa Bay. Not exactly sure when he's scheduled to return.
Swing and a miss there, and Sucre goes down, so 2 quick outs for Ben Taylor. You know, the question is welcome me back upstairs here, is where Tampa Bay fits in. I think everybody's picking the Red Sox as the team to beat in the American League.
I hope so.
Well, most are picking them. We know Toronto went to the ALCS last year. Yankees have retooled. Yankees are interesting. We saw Gary Sanchez. They got Greg Bird back from injury. They signed Chris Carter, who's a home run guy. So there's plenty of competition in the AL East.
And don't forget about Baltimore. I mean, that's a team that always, so we saw them last year, they're scaring people with how good they were for a while. And then, of course, they tailed off because they lacked the pitching depth to kind of keep things going. But that, you know, the East is going to be a very, very strong division again.
Last year, the Rays kind of became a trendy pick late in spring training because of the pitching. And again, it was a very disappointing season with those 94 losses. And the Rays have the pitching again. I'm not sure if they have enough to compete for the division title.
Yeah, and you look at, as you talk about, they have to trade away pieces to get younger and more competitive, but that takes time.
How about Ben Taylor? Strikes out Williams. He's faced 4 batters, struck out 3 of them, and we head to the 6th here at Charlotte Sports Park. Dining playbook with Billy and Jenny. Find out the best places to eat and drink before, during, and after the game throughout New England. Tune in for an encore presentation tonight at 6. Dining playbook on Nesson is driven by your New England Chevy dealers. New pitcher here for the Tampa Bay Rays. Sox come to bat in the 6th inning, and some changes out of the field as well. There's your new pitcher. That is Andrew Kittredge, the 26-year-old, part of a 5-player deal with Seattle. Last year, AA up to AAA, combined 3.50 earned run average. You see his numbers combined in the minors last year: 32 relief appearances, 268 the opponent batting average. Got a new right fielder, number 81. I believe that is Cade Gotta, Gotta, who's one of the minor leaguers in uniform today. So that's Gotta in right field. And then we've got new third baseman as well. I'll tell you about that in a moment here as Kittredge gets the strike call. 0-2 the count here to Alan Craig. third baseman is Kane Wong. That's Colton Wong's brother. The third baseman for the Rays. And then the new catcher is Jonah Hine. I said less than confidently. Got some guys with no names above their numbers, but I think we've got it all for you. Heim behind the plate, Wong, the third baseman, and Gata, the right fielder. Meantime, Alan Craig, 0 for 2, and base hit back up the middle, but good positioning there by Brett. He'll throw him out for the first out of the 6th. Right back up the box, but they had somebody there.
Yeah, Craig, you know, is getting his bat on some balls here, hitting the ball hard. We saw him pull one way down the line. He struck out his last at bat, but makes some solid contact.
And here's Jackie Bradley Jr., JBJ, with his third at bat of the game. Back in the second inning, he dropped the bunt. It was thrown out. And struck out swinging in the 4th. Red Sox just 2 hits today. Good story from yesterday's 8-7 offensive slugfest.
Yeah, they've been kind of up and down early this spring when they only had a couple of hits against the Mets.
Yeah, didn't have a hit until the 7th inning. In that one, Hanley Ramirez broke up the no-hitter.
Brian Bovasevic is not here to save the day.
I know. Who's going to step up at the end? Did it yesterday with the go-ahead RBI. Here's Bradley, the chopper to second base. Brett throws him out. 2 up, 2 down here in the 6th.
Hit that one right into the shift that they're playing against JBJ these days.
Sam Travis now try to keep the inning going. 2 down, nobody on.
You and I have watched the popularity of the shift on players these days, and they do it so much. There's even some talk of it being outlawed. Where do you fall on the whole shifting?
There was a time I was all for the outlawing of the shift. But now...
You came to your senses?
Well, no, I still wouldn't have a problem with them banning the shifts. And people who say you can't, I think are wrong. I think you could. But I just don't think teams and hitters have done enough to counter the shift themselves. Start with that. Drop a bunt if they're leaving you third base wide open.
Learn how to hit the ball the other way.
opposite field. Well, you know, do those things. I mean, Joe Madden, who was one of the real pioneers of the extreme shifting, but he always said hitters are going to figure this out. You know, minor leaguers are going to start figuring out how to bunt and go to the other way, and then we're going to have to stop shifting. Mitch Moreland is a great example. Mitch Moreland, teams used to do a heavy shift against Moreland, and Moreland has become a very good opposite field hitter. Guess what? Teams don't shift against him as much anymore.
And I think that teams overplay the shift, if you will. They're shifting for everybody now. You know, they shifted with Brock Holt would come to the plate. Brock Holt goes the other way as well as anybody on this team.
And Brock Holt generally is looking to get a base hit. He is not a 45 home run guy. David Ortiz, if David Ortiz dropped the bunt to break the shift and you got a little single on a bunt, you felt you did your job. You want David Ortiz at first base. You don't want him rounding first on the way home after hitting a home run. Blake Swihart, a hit and a walk in 2 plate appearances today. He's got Travis aboard after the walk. 2 outs here in the 6th. The Red Sox trailing 3-0.
I think any talk of banning the shift is just out of line.
Quick throw back, and they almost got him, but a good head-first slide, dive, and tag back for Travis.
Good aggressive secondary lead by Travis, and then able to get back. You see those steps off, and then gets back in just in time. You know, that as a manager, you should be able to play your players in any position you wanted to play. It's almost like saying, oh, the left fielder's playing too deep. He has to move in. You know, that doesn't make sense to govern that. Like you have a really good reliever, and he comes in and gets guys out all the time. You can't use him. I mean, what are we talking about here? You've got to be able to manage your ball club the way you want to and play your players where you want to. As you said, if you want to beat the shift, hit the ball the other way.
Swing and a miss there. And Swihart strikes out to end the inning. So a walk for Sam Travis, but nothing comes of it. And after 5.5 innings, the Rays have a 3-0 lead.
Sir, there's been a
This Red Sox spring training game on NESN is brought to you in part by Ace Ticket. Ace Ticket is Boston's trusted source for Red Sox, Bruins, and Celtics tickets. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS to treat someone special to a game now. Bottom of the 6th here at Charlotte Sports Park, and Fernando Abad comes in for the Red Sox, 4th pitcher of the game. And Abad, his first full year with the Red Sox after being acquired from Minnesota in August last season. Had a terrific first half with the Minnesota Twins, 2.83 ERA before the All-Star break, 0-2 with a 6.39 for Boston afterwards. The 2016 left-handed hitters, just a 153 batting average against him. That was third best in the American League. He's one of the pool pitchers for the Dominican Republic in the World Baseball Classic. And that means he is not on the active roster going into the first round of games. But they have the ability to call him should there be an injury or should they decide to tweak the roster before the second round. No word yet on if that will happen. I was asking John Farrell about that prior to. Eduardo Rodriguez, also a pool pitcher for his native Venezuela.
Yeah.
But again, they could have some say, the Red Sox could have some say, because anyone who's been on the DL or dealing with an injury going back to last season, the major league team can stop that player from going. Xander Bogaerts will be the first to leave. He's leaving the team on Tuesday because the Netherlands are playing in Seoul, South Korea.
Hey, you got to get there.
Got to get there. You got to have a couple of days to settle in there. Toughest of the travel of any WBC group, because if they win there, they then go to Tokyo, Japan. Interesting talking to Bogaerts a few days ago about that experience in 2013. They went to the Tokyo Dome when they went through to the semifinals, and he said for him at the time, a young player, 19, 20 years old, he said you could barely hear the person next to you in the dugout. It was insane. That Tokyo Dome gets so loud. It was sold out. He said he really felt that was an important learning process for him, learning how to calm himself and just stick with his routine despite all the noise and excitement around you.
I think that's a part of the attraction, too, for some of these players. I mean, you got to understand that most Major League Baseball players are pretty worldly. But at the same time, the experience that some of these guys get to, some of the places they get to see and play baseball in other countries, I mean, you got to be excited for a guy who wants to experience that. You see all these guys now coming up that, hey, I played on the USA team when I was in college. I did this, I did that. I did none of that. I got none of that opportunity as a younger player coming up. The opportunities that are out there for these guys today are just phenomenal. And how do you begrudge the guy who wants to take advantage of it?
Three and two count to Johnny Field, who holds up and draws a walk to lead off the bottom of the sixth.
Bod tried to get him with a changeup right there. Didn't go fishing. Well, I'd like to see Bod get back to the pitcher he was when he was in Minnesota. He went through a stretch with the Red Sox that was very, very good. His overall numbers weren't. Oh, lunchtime.
Wow. There you go.
That was one of the first things I ever saw when I was down in Florida. I saw a bird flying right at me. We're sitting in the dugout, and a bird flew right at me, right over the left field wall, carrying a huge fish, and it was an osprey like that. And he could barely fly because the fish was big. He bit off a little more than he could chew. He's flapping around, and it was an unbelievable sight for a guy. I never saw anything like that before.
Are you allowed to bring your own lunch here to the ballpark?
He is.
Wow.
He can do whatever he wants.
I suppose that's true. Didn't have to buy a ticket. Brings his own lunch. That's a cheap afternoon at the ballpark.
Didn't have to buy the fish.
Fish would have liked to have some say in the whole matter.
He swam a little too close to the surface is what he did.
A little too slowly.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the fastest fish. You just have to be a little faster than one of the fish ahead of you. Plenty of fishtails here at spring training. No question about that. Fernando Abad walking Johnny Field to begin now. He faces Joe McCarthy. By the way, it's the first time today one of the fighting 74s for Tampa Bay Rays have gotten on base. Justin Williams 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts.
Well, it was a huge topic.
Johnny Field gets the walk now in his third at bat.
The big topic of conversation, of course, was Williams, who hadn't faced any live pitching. Now he has, and he's got 3 strikeouts. The hat trick to go for it.
McCarthy, meantime, has got it figured out. He's gotten on twice with a walk each time. Castillo now trying to get back after it, but this is all the way to the wall for McCarthy. Field coming around third base, being waved in, and he will score. So an RBI double for Joe McCarthy. And a 4-0 lead for the Rays.
Well, we talk about the way spring training baseball is played. This is an enormous ballpark, 414 to dead center. You see how far Castillo has to go to try to track this down. That ball doesn't even really make it to the warning track. It's so far to run, plus the wind blowing in. You're not going to see too many balls get out of this ballpark. But a lot of room out there for doubles, triples, and extra base hits.
And we've got a new batter here as for the first time today, it is the shortstop, Cronenworth. Up. He replaced Robertson. Defensively. And on deck is Gillespie.
He'll hit for Kiermaier.
And he won't appear on any of your rosters, so just take our word for that. He's got a name on his back, though. He should be somewhere.
He does.
Oh, yeah, he's Casey Gillespie, number 71. We found him.
You don't want to have to go with the dreaded what's his name.
We had some dude yesterday.
That guy.
The much discussed Goodrum versus Gordon confusion. The G-men, as I like to call him. early Grapefruit League action for you here. Still February, folks. Long way to go till 25-man rosters are set. Sox have managed just 2 hits through 6 innings today.
They don't care. They're just enjoying it. Getting into the sun, watching some baseball, having a great Sunday.
Wondering why they couldn't bring their own sushi to the ballpark. Osprey did.
From my vantage point here, it looks to me there are 2 Osprey up there in the nest now. I wonder if they're sharing.
I hope they're sharing. Lunch for 2 with a view.
Excellent table for you.
Full count pitch from Abad, swing and a miss. And he'll get Cronenworth for the first out of the inning.
Well, Abad doing what he does best, and that's getting out a left-handed hitter. There's the couple. Man, that's just to me, that's just an amazing sight. They certainly don't care that much about privacy, really. You build your nest at a ballpark.
They don't seem to care much about baseball either.
Got their back
They're
turned on the
looking the
game.
opposite way.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I've seen it all before. So that'll bring up Casey Gillespie for the first time today. First round draft pick in 2014, 20th overall. Out of Wichita State. Switch hitter will bat from the right side up against Abad. Minor League Player of the Year last season, according to the Rays Baseball Operations Department. Ground ball here to short. Toss the diamond in time for the second out. Runner has to hold. McCarthy going back to second base, so 2 down here in the 6th. Luke Maley getting his second at bat now with 2 down. Maley hit an infield single, RBI, driving in the runner Joe McCarthy. And the 4th inning, McCarthy driving in a run here in the 6th with the double off Fernando Abad. Since 2014, Abad has appeared in 188 games. It's the 3rd most of any American League left-handed pitcher, behind only Zach Britton and Andrew Miller. Good company for a left-handed reliever. They thought he could be their left-handed specialist since they acquired him from Minnesota, but it hasn't worked out. But it changed that with a fresh start with the Red Sox here at spring training. Quickly ahead of Maley, 0-2. Pitch from Abad, outside.
You remember the old pictures you used to see of Johnny Bench, whose hands were so big he could hold on to I think 7 baseballs in one hand. Maley could do the same thing. Enormous hands. Help you put a good grip on the bat, I guess.
Leaves that one outside.
I had a tough time getting a grip on the baseball with one hand.
Try to throw one.
Yeah.
Slips out of my hand. Swing and a miss there, so Abad settles down and gets 2 strikeouts in the inning, but 1 run on a walk and a hit. And it is a 4-0 lead. Red Sox fans ready to jump in there and help out the offense as the Sox come to bat in the 7th.
NESN Sports Update.
Rays leading 4-0. Top of the 7th here at Charlotte Sports Park. Ryan Yarbrough, the new pitcher for Tampa Bay. The lefty, just 25 years old, acquired in the Drew Smiley deal with Seattle. Rays getting outfielder Malik Smith, who they're very excited about, and Carlos Vargas, the shortstop. Last year, Yarbrough, Double-A Jacksonville, 12-4 with a 2.95 earned run average. He was the Southern League Pitcher of the Year.
Grew up in Lakeland, Florida, the home of the Detroit Tigers spring training site for about 1 million years.
Drafted out of Old Dominion.
Run fast.
A little chopper here for Bryce Brents. To throw in time. Cronenworth coming across the diamond to make the play for the first out of the 7th.
He's a little bit of a strange guy there, Yarbrough, because he is one of the few people in the world who grew up being a Tampa Bay Rays fan. It's just, I mean, you just don't hear too many of those, do you?
I think that was a like a bittersweet moment for the organization. They lose a fan even though they gained a good pitcher.
Yeah. He was upset when he was drafted originally by the Mariners. And
Marco Hernandez out ahead. At Old Dominion, he played alongside Ben Verlander, younger brother of Justin. I believe signed with the Tigers organization. Not sure what happened, but.
Was that the token signing? You know, we'll take you and you'll let your little brother come with you?
Your parents, your sister, or whatever you need.
Yeah. Well, both the Rasmuses are here now in Tampa Bay.
Rays leading the league in Rasmuses, Rasmi, and number 74s.
Yeah.
Marco Hernandez drew a walk back in the 5th inning. Red Sox low to the bases. He drives this one to right field, back towards the wall, off the top of the wall. Hernandez hustling around second base, looking to slide in safely with a triple, and he does. A one-out triple from Marco Hernandez. Red Sox fans here in Port Charlotte coming to life here in the 7th.
That's one of the reasons why they like Marco Hernandez. Of all the middle infielder type players that they called up and down last season, he has the most pop. He can swing the bat. They love the way he hits. Coming all the way into third base, see Ruben Amaro all the way down on the ground, telling him to slide. They both slid.
Empathy slide. The one-out triple. Sox try to get on the board, down 4-0 here in the 7th. Dominguez fouls that one back away.
They're using the bullpen phone to call Brian Bovasevic. Get him to drive up here 45 minutes to maybe get an at-bat to try to win this game. He's been involved in the winning runs here the last few days.
Drove in the winning run yesterday, drove in the only 2 runs they scored, the 3-2 loss to the Mets on Friday as Dominguez chases that. He's behind 1-2. Pitch from Yarbrough, and a drive to center field and a base hit. RBI single here with 1 out for Matt Dominguez, and the Red Sox are on the board for the first time today.
They get a good pitch to hit, and you just drive it right up the middle. That's a good sign for the Red Sox here late in this ball game to get on the board with a chance to get back in this thing.
Devin Marrero getting his first at-bat of the game, came in as a defensive replacement for Brock Holt. Holt got 3 at-bats, a single, a walk. Actually, Was hit by the pitch, not a walk.
I always find it interesting to see where players end up setting down their roots after they end up playing for some. Some guys actually never leave home. They always have a permanent residence where they're from. Other guys move to the town they're playing in.
Ground ball, base hit to the right field side. So 3 straight hits for the Red Sox here in the 7th inning. They've got a little something going. A triple for Hernandez and singles for Dominguez, and now Marrero with Rusney Castillo stepping up to the plate.
Well, pretty good job of hitting with these guys here in the late going in the back half of the order.
Rusney Castillo, we will call it a wardrobe malfunction today as he wears number 80
with no name
on it.
Talking about where guys live. Yarborough's from Lakeland, where spring training is big. He now lives in Peoria, Arizona, where the spring training side of the Mariners is. That's the organization he was playing for. Now that he's back here playing for Tampa Bay, I think he moves back to Florida and sets up shop around here somewhere.
Sure. Why not? Come on home. They say he had some 2008 World Series gear from the Rays in his man cave.
True fan.
Swing and a miss there from Castillo. Out ahead of it.
Not to be outdone with the Rays sending back-to-back 74s to the plate. The Red Sox will try that same thing with the number 80.
Can't beat him, join him.
They're gonna.
Well, deception goes a long way in this game. And there's a base hit for Castillo out of reach of the shortstop. And so now 4 consecutive hits off Yarbrough. And down 4-1, the Red Sox have the bases loaded here in the 7th inning.
Castillo's got to be able to hit his way back to the big leagues somehow, and that'll help. Invested a lot of money in a guy who's playing in the minor leagues. They're still trying to figure out if he can figure out the game and continue to improve.
So bases loaded, and Jordan Procession will get his first at-bat of the game. Coming in as the designated hitter for Alan Craig.
Is he going to try to keep the procession of Red Sox hits alive?
He's hoping to. As Yarbrough has come in and struggled here in the 7th inning. Strike call there, 1-1 on Procession. Procession, a 14th round pick in 2014. Baseball America's best defensive catcher in the South Atlantic League last season. Played in the All-Star game of that league. Catcher. Spent the whole season at High A Salem. And hit .249 with 4 homers, 29 RBI.
Trying to work himself into a good hitter's count here with bases drunk.
It's from Alberta, Canada. Slices that one.
Look out, Ruben.
Good move for Amaro. Ruben Amaro able to just kind of spin out of the way of that one.
Got to have cat-like reflexes if you're going to be a third base coach, especially with guys on base. You can't get too far away.
Bases loaded here in the 7th. The 2-2 to Procession. Swing and a miss. He got him. The second out of the inning.
Slow breaking ball right there. Not too bad a pitch to hit. It just got him off balance there a little bit.
Number 41, Cole Sturgeon.
Cole Sturgeon now up to the plate with the bases loaded. His first at-bat of the game. That one whipped over to first base. It's Cole Sturgeon. Spent most of last season in Double-A Portland. Called up for a couple of games at the end with the Pawtucket Red Sox.
I hope Sturgeon's not a big kid. I hope the Osprey don't like to eat sturgeon.
He's looking for a little revenge. Saw what happened up there in the light tower. So now Cole Sturgeon with a chance to strike a blow. Both the Red Sox and fish everywhere. Inside, Yarbrough just missing.
It's a good take right there by Sturgeon. That's a tough pitch to really hang in there on. Sturgeon didn't flinch at all. I think if Yarbrough tries a breaking ball like that again to Sturgeon, he'll go to the outer half of the plate and maybe off the plate.
Sturgeon out of the University of Louisville. Helped Wareham win the 2012 Cape Cod League Bank championship, and his base hit to opposite field. 1 run in, the throw not in time, so 2-run score. Now Castillo caught in the rundown, and he'll get thrown out. So that'll end the inning, but not before the Red Sox get 3 runs, 2 of them on the RBI, the 2-run single for Cole Sturgeon. It's a 4-3 game heading to the bottom of the 7th.
The 2017 Toyota.
NESN Sports Today has you covered for all the top stories and highlights on the Red Sox Grapefruit League games as they prepare for the regular season. Red Sox spring training coverage presented by Jordan's Furniture, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. So the Red Sox get 3 runs back, but Rusney Castillo thrown out there to end the inning.
Well, you know, we talk about what he has to do to make himself major league ready. Obviously, he has to swing the bat, but, you know, I complained a lot about it a couple seasons ago that the just doesn't have great baseball instincts. He hasn't played enough to really know how the game is played. And again, a bad base running mistake takes the Red Sox out of that inning.
And Jamie Callahan on the mound now for the Red Sox in the bottom of the 7th. After Callahan gave up just 1 run. Abad rather giving up that run. Callahan in now. facing Ryan Brett. Brett gets his first at-bat. Lots of changes in the field for the Red Sox. We'll tell you about them in a moment. As Callahan looks in and throws one down in the dirt against Brett. So a 4-3 game now in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Strike call there, so he gets Brett to begin the inning. Callahan is converted to a relief pitcher during the 2015 season and has been very good since 2.88 ERA from that point on to the end of the season. Those are his numbers as a reliever. Comes at you over the top.
And if you keep the ball down in the zone like he did right there, kind of climbed the ladder early and then back down in the zone to get the strikeout.
Wong to the plate now with one down. You got Devers, Rafael Devers at third base now for the Red Sox. Sturgeon fields this one. Quickly, there are 2 outs in the 7th. So Marrero at shortstop. I beg your pardon. Sturgeon's out in left field. I just said Sturgeon at short. Running out of room on my diamond. I got all the names on top of each other.
I know. I thought
Sturgeon's in left. Marrero at short.
I thought it was a little fishy.
That was Devin Marrero. Here for the Birds. So Sturgeon, Castillo, and Kyrie Washington now are your outfielders. The left to right. Sturgeon, Castillo, Washington. Devers, the third baseman. Marrero, you just saw it short. Hiker Manassas is the second baseman. Longy, the first baseman. There's a look at Manassas. One-run game here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Red Sox trailed 4-0. But a 5-hit 7th inning got him back in. There's one RBI single for Dominguez, a 2-run single for Cole Sturgeon. Rusney Castillo thrown out. Going to advance to third base that into the inning. Swing and a miss there. So 1-2-3 for Callahan. The Red Sox look at that, down by a run in the 8th.
Sir, there's been a breach. We need your
Brought to you in part by Ace Ticket. It's more than a ticket. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. By Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep its promises. And by Bob's Discount Furniture. A couple of birds have already had lunch here. Southwest Florida.
Wow. Look at that.
Tampa Bay Rays leading 4-3 as the Sox come to bat in the 8th inning.
Now, in your infinite wisdom on bird watching, was that a pelican? Or does a pelican have the big double chin
I am
under
the
there?
furthest thing from an expert in bird watching, but I believe the pelican has the deep pocket
big cheeks.
chin. Which I don't think is a bird
the
term.
food pouch.
The lunch bag that you just kind of carry with you. But maybe they can sort of suck that in. I don't know.
I think maybe it's male, female. I don't know, or a completely
I'm not
different.
going there.
It's a different species of bird, maybe.
Just go right ahead.
I have no idea. I'm just saying. You know a little bit about everything, so I thought I'd quiz you.
Just a little bit. That's the problem. I know just a little bit about everything. There's very little I know a lot about. There's Rafael Devers as we begin the 8th inning. See his numbers with Salem last season. Entering the year as the #2 prospect behind Andrew Benintendi in the 2017 season for the Red Sox organization. Considered by Baseball America to have the best infield arm in the system. Hit .282 as you saw with Salem last year. 11 homers for the 2nd consecutive year. Had 11 for the Greenville Drive the year prior to that. Down by 1 run. He fouls this one back up. Native of Sanchez in the Dominican Republic. Made his pro debut in 2014. Certainly hit the ground running. Hit .322 that season. And he drives this one to right field. Line drive. Getting back there is Gata, who will make the catch. Bring up the catcher, Jake Depew. His first at bat. Came in for Blake Swihart. Swihart, a walk, a single. 1 for 2 afternoon. Now Depew. Trying to help the Red Sox battle back from a deficit for the 2nd straight day. They were down 7-2 yesterday. Beat the Minnesota Twins 8-7 for their first Grapefruit League win. 1-1 officially on the season. The win over Northeastern doesn't count. Depew signed as a minor league free agent last November. Originally signed by the Tampa Bay Rays.
And in the game,
assistant at AA.
Yeah, and in this game right here, obviously, spring training game, we're just getting underway down here. They're putting the shift on Depew. Does that make any sense at all?
Well, again, he came through the Rays organization, so they may have a scouting report on him.
Still. You see the second baseman playing on the shortstop side of second base.
He tries to go opposite field there. 9 homers, 42 RBI, just 86 games last season with Montgomery, AA. '25-year-old catcher. Hits this one inside. Chi Wei-Hugh, the pitcher, 23 years old. They acquired him a couple of Julys ago from Minnesota, the Kevin Jepson trade. He delivers, Depew fouls it off.
Who's got a very compact, short, quiet delivery. Ball gets on you quick.
From Depew here to right center field. Right fielder Gata calls off Lee to make the catch, and there are 2 down here in the 8th. Red Sox giveaways return to Fenway Park in 2017, including Rick Porcello and Mookie Betts bobblehead nights on April 5th and 14th. For tickets and more information on the entire 2017 giveaway lineup, visit redsox.com/promos. Two down, 8th inning, nobody on. Hiker Manassas try to keep the inning going. Hiker Manassas, the Venezuelan, missed the majority of last season. Just 40 games he was on the DL. Fouls this one off the first base side. Broke his wrist. Began the year in Rochester, AAA for Minnesota. Had been with the Red Sox as an international free agent signing. Then in 2015 went to the Twins system after making it as far as AAA with the Red Sox. Now signing again with the Red Sox as a minor league free agent.
Sometimes if you get traded to an organization and things don't work out that well, you find yourself a free agent. You want to get back to an organization that knows who you are. Get back in that system. They've seen you play. If they're willing to re-sign you, then that means they still have a decent interest.
Fly ball to center field. Lee coming in, and he'll make the catch. So it's a 1-2-3 8th inning, and the Rays holding on to that 1-run lead, heading to the bottom of the 8th. We're here in Charlotte, Port Charlotte, where the Stone Crabs play their Florida Gulf Coast League games, but today it's home of Grapefruit League baseball.
Nessa Next producer.
Red Sox season ticket holders experience the best seats, price, and benefits Fenway Park has to offer. For information on becoming a season ticket holder, please visit redsox.com/season tickets or call 877-RED-SOX-9 today. New pitcher for the Red Sox here in the 8th inning as the Rays come to bat. It is Luis Isla, a 24-year-old who was acquired from the San Francisco Giants in 2015 in exchange for Alejandro De Aza. Isla last season started in Portland, made it up to AAA Pawtucket. Just one appearance in Pawtucket, but 39 appearances for the Sea Dogs prior to that.
You don't even care that much. You just love the pronunciations of those names. Right
I love
there.
that entire trade. I can talk about that trade all day.
I know.
Luis Isla for Alejandro De Aza.
It was rolling off the tongue, too.
Hey, by the way, you've got an update on the Pelicans situation, I understand.
As far as I could tell, you're right. They all have the pouch. They can just suck it in a little bit, I guess.
Tuck it away.
Yeah.
You can't be carrying that thing around all the time.
It's called a throat pouch.
It really is?
Yes.
It's not the lunch bag like I suggested?
Well, they scoop up stuff, and that helps them sift through the garbage that they don't want. They can spit it out and keep the fish that they're trying to eat.
And with that, back to baseball as Isla throws that one outside. Is that your Pelican brief?
Indeed it was.
All right. Let's keep that brief. One-run game here in the bottom of the 8th with the Rays up to bad Red Sox who trailed 4-0. Got 3 back in the 7th inning. Isla trying to keep it a 1-run game. And he'll walk the leadoff batter as Gata will go to first. Let's go down to Garen Austin. Garen.
Hi, JC. I was just in the clubhouse. We talked to Hector Velasquez, and he said he was really nervous coming into today's game, but once he got that first out, he really settled down. Blake Swihart said that Velasquez had a game plan. He came in, he knew what he wanted to do, and he executed. It was a good day for Blake. He said he's feeling much more comfortable. He hasn't played in a while, so he's really working on his timing. Guys, he said he just needs to keep working and keep trying to improve.
Depew gets after that one. Thank you, Garen. Yeah, an important spring, as we've talked about, for Blake Swihart. And talking to John Farrell before the game, they think he's done a really good job working on the presentation, the framing, some of the footwork and movement and mechanics behind the plate. And they saw, even in his first 3 innings a couple of days ago, first 3 innings of work, they thought they saw some immediate results from that work. And it's always good when somebody's putting in the work and then sees immediate results to buy in.
Well, when I was sent down to Instructional League to learn how to be a catcher, the first thing that someone told me was the most difficult part about catching is just receiving the ball, just catching the ball and making the pitcher look good. It's a hard thing. They're throwing the ball 95, 100 miles an hour with movement. You know, you don't want guys snapping at balls back there. And that's what Swihart was having a little bit of trouble with. It's kind of boxing balls and stuff. You just have to be soft. You have to be strong and soft at the same time. Catch it, but be firm to make sure that you're not giving away pitches.
Much was made at the beginning of last week, the first couple of days, really, of spring training workouts here in Florida, as Isla delivers, slice down the left field line, just fouled. Much was made about a 2-day stretch, if you will, where Swihart was having some trouble throwing the ball back to the pitcher. People started to worry that it was going to be Steve Sachs or Mackey Sasser, whatever you want to go with. And John Farrell and the Red Sox today saying how happy they were with the way he handled it. Not just that he went out and did all the work and apparently put it behind him, because we haven't seen or heard, and certainly no problems today in a game. But he didn't back away from it. He spoke to the media about it. He went out and put in extra work, and he didn't let it become a thing he was suppressing. As the runner goes, the ball is sliced down the left field side where Sturgeon will make the catch, and Gata has run back to first base.
Nicely.
But they're very happy with the maturity a young catcher like Swihart has shown. Much like when we talked the last 2 years about Eduardo Rodriguez dealing with tipping pitches, a very public thing that he had to deal with. But the maturity of a young man to work his way and navigate through that has to speak volumes to what he can become.
Yeah, and obviously when you're having issues like that with something as elementary as playing catch, you know, it's in your head and you're like, why is it that I can't just throw the ball back to the pitcher? And then we talked about Alan Craig earlier in the broadcast today. You start thinking too much about it. It gets in your head, and then you become less of an athlete and more of a guy that's you're taking all your athleticism away from yourself. Just don't think about it and play the game. And he had mentioned, too, about the differences in his throws. A catcher, a guy who throws right from the earlobe when you're a catcher, and then moving out to left field, and the difference in those throws.
Just the very arc of the arm as you're throwing it in from left field.
And how that may have affected him a little bit. As far as we know, it's put behind him. He doesn't have to think about it anymore.
So Swihart starting the game today, catching Hector Velasquez. Velasquez 4 strikeouts in his 2 innings of work. Gave up the 1 run on 3 hits, walked a batter. But I'm sure a little sigh of relief now from Velasquez. Just 2 weeks ago, he's pitching in the Mexican Winter League and wrapping up his run in the Caribbean World Series. All of a sudden, a new organization, a couple of bullpen sessions. Now you're pitching in a game. I'm sure it's been a crazy couple of weeks for Velasquez.
That's a good sign for this organization to add some depth into their minor league system. I don't think there's anybody thinking that Velasquez is going to jump into that starting rotation or even have a real chance of making the ball club, but you need depth.
Runner at first, 1 out. As Isla comes inside and misses, so full count now to Joe McCarthy. McCarthy had the big RBI double. That run stands as the difference in this one. McCarthy, 2 walks, an RBI double. He scored a run, driven in a run. Isla the throwback to first. Gata gets back.
McCarthy's been the big difference in the back half of that batting order, as we talked about the number 74s who had a rough outing today. A bunch of strikeouts and not a lot of hitting going on, and McCarthy picking it up.
Runner goes, and McCarthy sends this one to the right field side. It is gone! A 2-run home run for Joe McCarthy, and a 3 RBI afternoon. The Rays built some insurance here in the 8th.
If you're going to hit home runs, you kind of have to do it down the line here, as we talked about before. A big ballpark. That one just left right out over the middle of the plate for McCarthy. He didn't miss it.
So it is once again a 3-run lead for the Rays here with 1 out in the 8th inning. And that's a hit by pitch as Cronenworth will take the base. Depew out to talk to Isla.
Number 71, Casey Gillespie.
And John Farrell will make his way out to the mound, and that will end the day for Luis Isla. So the 2-run home run for McCarthy, making it a 6-3 lead for the Rays. Stay with us. Coming up right after today's game, catch back-to-back episodes of Nesson Next Producer featuring student films about baseball. At 4, see a story about how baseball helped strengthen the father-son bond. Then, catch an inside look at a female pitching phenom and inspiring work from Wellesley and BU filmmakers. It's all after today's game. Nesson's Next Producer is presented by Toyota's website for deals, buyatoyota.com. New pitcher here for the Red Sox, as coming in relief of Isla in the 8th inning is Ty Buttrey. Ty Buttrey, a 6th-round pick, a 4th-round pick, 6th overall in the 2012 June draft. Spent all of last year with Double-A Portland. 9 starts, 33 appearances overall, a 4.44 ERA. But once they moved into the bullpen, that ERA went down to 3 in 24 appearances. Big 6'6", 230-pound right-hander misses inside there. Two and one the count to Casey Gillespie. Gillespie grounded out his first at-bat back in the 6th inning. Takes the ball here, so Buttrey falling behind, 3 and 1 to count.
Saw Gillespie hit from the right side last time. Minor league player of the year. Now he shifts over to the left side.
Gets the called strike there. Chopper to second base. Only one play from Manassas. He'll get over to first for the 2nd out of the inning, as Cronenworth will take second.
First base, number 21, Luke Maley.
That'll bring up Luke Maley with 2 out, man on second here in the 8th inning. Crowd of 51-65 announced here at Charlotte Sports Park. And that one in the dirt will go all the way to the backstop. The wild pitch will send Cronenworth to third base.
Quite a few Red Sox fans in attendance today as well. You think just 45 minutes down the road, Fenway South, you get double that amount of people to show up and watch the Red Sox play.
Sox back home for the next 2 days at JetBlue Park. 5 of their first 6 games at Fenway South. Split squad St. Louis Cardinals tomorrow. Split squad Yankees on Tuesday afternoon. Then 6 out of 8 away from Fort Myers as March begins. Ground ball out of the reach of the diving third baseman Devers. And that's an RBI single for Maley. It's a 3-run 8th inning now for the Rays.
Second base, number 21, Ryan Brett.
And Ryan Brett looking to keep it going. And Sox fans saying, give me a chance, coach. Let me in there. Good bat speed, good control.
I like the fact that he was working on his bat flip already.
It's the important things.
Knows he's going deep.
Two-no count here to Brett. Buttrey back over to first. Plenty of time for Maley to get back. Catches the outside corner for the strike there. 2-1 the count. Slow, high chopper, and no chance for Devers to do anything with that. So it's not pretty, but it's a base hit for Brett. And the inning continues.
And the spin on that ball is going to make it bounce to Devers' right. So it makes it much more difficult play. You almost have to round that ball up. You see how he had to adjust to try to make the play. By then, you're in big trouble. You have a play like that, even if you get the handle on it, you know you can't throw anybody out. Stick it in your back pocket like he did. Try to do something heroic. Try to throw it over there. Number one, he's going to be safe anyway. Number two, you throw it into the seats. He ends up on third base, and someone else scores.
I'll bring up Kane Wong. Grounded out in the 7th inning, his first at bat. Seven runs on 9 hits for Tampa Bay today. 3 runs on 7 hits. No errors for the Red Sox.
Think about these games played, and when you get this late into a early spring training game, a lot of guys on the field we know are going to be playing in the minor leagues somewhere. A little less attention being paid to these guys than your starters, but for them, man, this is their opportunity to play in front of the big club. You know, you get a chance to impress the manager a little bit.
And Buttrey strikes him out. So inning ends, but not before 3 runs up on the board. 2 on a home run from Joe McCarthy. Red Sox up to their last at bat when we come back.
Nothing.
Moment brought to you by Old Dominion. Joe McCarthy, the number 9 hitter. Number 97 on your roster, number 1 in the hearts of Rays fans today.
Big day for McCarthy. Double there in the 5th inning that drove in a run, and then the 7th, a big 2-run shot. Got himself into the lineup. Had a great day.
And a little bit of insurance there. That 2-run homer, part of a 3-run 8th inning, a 7-3 lead. Now the Red Sox had clawed back within a run. Now they're down to their final 3 outs. And Longy will be leading off, going up against Jeff Ames. He's combined minor league numbers last season. 2.71 ERA. (7-3) 9th inning here in Port Charlotte. Longy leading off the inning. Spent all of last year with the Salem Red Sox in high A ball. Ranked among the Carolina League leaders in Batting average, RBI, had 77, the 5th most in the league, and 40 doubles.
Gap power guy.
Ground ball here to third base. 1 down in the 9th. Tonight at 10, tune in to NESN Sports Today. Casey and Nikki will have everything you need to know from Red Sox spring training. Plus, Sarah Davis and Andy Brickley recap the Bruins game in Dallas. NESN Sports Today is presented by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. Bruins with a 6-3 win in Dallas. They have been red hot under Bruce Cassidy. Just 1 loss in 7 games under Cassidy. And they finally get to play some home games up ahead. Closer to Wednesday's trade deadline in the NHL. So it'll be a big week for the Bruins in the NHL. Stay tuned to NESN all week long. Bruins hockey, Red Sox preseason baseball. Steve Lyons bird watching report. Catch it all here on the New England Sports Network. Kyrie Washington, I believe. Up with 1 down.
Had a big year last year with Greenville. 16 homers, 73 RBIs.
'22nd pick, 681st overall for the Red Sox in 2015. Called strike 3, so 2 down here in the 9th.
Just going right at him. This is a fastball down the zone. Wasn't able to pull the trigger on it.
That'll leave it to Devin Marrero with 2 outs in the 9th. Ames, the 7th pitcher of the day for the Tampa Bay Rays. Red Sox have been out hit 9-7. Marrero takes ball 1. Sox scored all their runs in the 7th inning. Marrero fouling this one off. An RBI single from Matt Dominguez. And then a 2-out, 2-run double for Cole Sturgeon, but Rusney Castillo thrown out. Trying to get to third base. It was the end of the inning, and then the Rays tacked on 3 insurance runs in the 8th. Now down by 4. Down to their final out of the 9th. Called strike, so 1-2 to Marrero. Get our next broadcast for you here next Saturday, the 4th. On the road, Pittsburgh. Pirates hosting the Red Sox. Saturday, Sunday action for you on NESN next weekend.
A little disappointed in today's game with the Rays. They didn't get a chance to see Longoria play. He's been sick, out with the flu. They don't expect him to play in a game until Tuesday. Flu bug goes through these ball clubs down here. Everybody gets it.
Two pitch here to Marrero. Inside.
Suddenly somebody woke up the audio guy here at the ballpark.
Just getting excited for what could be the final out. Marrero ready. Pitch from Ames. Fouls it back. The battle continues. Now, the other guy really has come to life, so.
Yeah, he wants this game to be over.
Full arsenal here. Three-two pitch from Ames. Ground ball off the glove of Ames to second base and thrown away. Marrero safe at first, and we continue. Ames probably hurt himself by getting a piece of that. Had it gotten by him, hurt himself as far as his chances of getting the final out. Looked like Brett was ready to play that, but ball died off the glove of Ames, and Castillo gets a chance now to keep it going.
Now, there's so many middle infielders that will tell the pitcher, just don't try to catch that ball. I'm right behind you. I'm going to get it. It's
but it's
natural
instinct.
reaction. Sure, you're going to
Instinct.
try, but if you can think about it.
So here's Rusney Castillo. Fly ball to center field. Back there under it is Lee, and he'll make the catch for the final out of the game. So the Red Sox are beaten 7-3. They fall to 1-2 in Grapefruit League play.
Yeah, these early games, obviously, guys trying to get their work in. Some of the starters for the Red Sox won't even be playing in these games until early next week. Just kind of going through the motions. But for these younger kids, it's the opportunity to play in a major league game and get a chance to show off a little bit.
For Steve Lyons, our hard-working NESN crew down here in Southwest Florida, I'm Tom Karen. Thanks so much for watching. Final score for the final time: Tampa Bay Rays 7, Boston Red Sox 3. NESN, next producer, coming your way right after the break. Stay with us all night long here on NESN.